Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. It's your boy Ali, and today, as you can hear, I'm super excited to bring you an absolutely fantastically fun video today. We aren't doing an opening, but as you can see from the thumbnail and the title, let's get straight into this winner chicken dinner Kalgara winner deck profile that I had to win the first tournament from your boy Ali that he won. Some of you might have seen from the subscribers especially, but if you're not subscribed, please do stick around for the video, and if you do enjoy, hit a like and subscribe. So let's get straight into it. Let's get into the Kalgara decklist review for my sort of engine and build. So I'm going to go through today, obviously, some of the cards, some of the combinations I think you can go up against, what you can do well, maybe some alternatives, and just some general wrap-ups and advice for the deck that I've quite enjoyed playing. I think it's actually really a fun deck. It's very easy to play, and especially for the cost of the cards, Kalgara is nice and cheap. So you've got a lot of the basic rares, just commons, uncommons that you can find in a lot of the sets, especially predominantly from OP-05 and OP-08 mainly. Obviously, we've been lucky to pull the alt leader here, so if you want to bling out the deck, you can get an alt leader. It costs obviously a little bit more, but then I'd say, quite literally, finding, maybe for a couple of dollars per each card for some of them, maybe even some of the rares. The only expensive card that you have, at least in my build that I do run, and I think a lot of the Kalgaras do have, is the ST13 from the actual starter deck, the Rush Ace. That's a 5 cost, 7k power, which we'll go through in a little bit once we go through the deck list. So let's get straight into it. As you can see here, just want to recap Kalgara and his ability. So of course, when you attach a Don when attacking, you can play one Shanty Warrior type card from your hand, cost equal to or less than the number of Don cards on your field. If you do, you then have to take a card from the top of your life cards to your hand. Now, let's move him out the way. The centerpiece, the main boy right here. So for your first 4 that you're running in the deck for a max, funnily enough, is also Kalgara. So he's your real sort of meat and potatoes of the deck. He is your big body. He is in fact your only really big body for a 6 cost 8k, again, at least in this build here. So that can obviously come as an advantage, especially to how Kalgara kind of runs. But then obviously a disadvantage for some things like, your black decks really negging having that sort of easy ability as not being such a high cost. But we'll go into sort of things you can do to counter that as well. So of course, him being the meat and potatoes, you're going to want to run 4 of him. So let me just try and stack these up here so everyone can see on camera. And of course, we'll write down the deck list in the description below as well. And then feel free to drop any comments for any questions. Now, number 2 that you're also going to want to run 4 of here. The second part of your meat and potatoes, Mr. MONT NOLAND, a rare from OP-08. As you can see here, 5 cost 6k, 1k counter as well, which is always nice, worst case scenario, but you don't really want to be using him for counter. As you can see with his ability, on play, if your leader is Shanty Warrior, of course Kalgara is, and you have Kalgara character on the field, you can add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life card. So he is so crucial. He is your main key piece to being able to heal yourself when you're playing the card game here. Now, of course, I'll put him up at the top there, whilst we're sort of, summarizing that for the 2-piece here for the 2 most crucial cards of the deck there. So let's run into why that's so good, yeah? So, of course, on your turn 3, I should always start as well, I guess. You do always want to have your turns. You want to start second to have that good of curve into your third turn for having your 6 Don. So the main reason why here, of course, with Kalgara's ability, as soon as you hit 6 Don, and you have 2 of these in hand, so I guess again, if you want to advise, maybe for your starting hand, if you want to mulligan, always try and have maybe at least 1 Nolan and Kalgara if you can at best, especially if you find a Nolan you really want to sort of keep that hand for your ability to heal, depending on what you have and I guess again who you're versing. So first thing here, you hit your 6 Don, you want to attach a Don to your Kalgara leader, swing, because obviously the ability has to activate when you're attacking. Then you can drop your big boy Kalgara, your big body, just based off his leader ability. So of course you can then choose to either go on to swing at character or life, choose whatever you'd like there. Then of course you can play out Kalgara, you're taking a life. Now of course, what does that leave you with? You've got 5 Don left. So with, of course, MONT NOLAND costing 5, pretty simple there. You can just play Noland out and then you have the ability to heal there, whilst also drawing a card in 1 turn. And on your 3rd turn, you've got 2 fairly big attacking bodies out. So it's quite good, as you can see, to get out 2 characters. A little bit of a rush ability. Obviously not as much as some with the red decks, but it is really fun to play and use that ability too. Really, really good for your big body and your heal. Now, for the next one here, of course, we're going to be having WYPER. Now, he as well is also from OP-08. And of course, you want to run 4 of him in the deck. 2k counter as well, which I have used him before as well for. Now, on his on play 2, you can look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and reveal up to 1 upper yard and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck from any order and play 1 upper yard from your hand. So seeing as you might have seen already from the next character we're going to have in another WYPER, this is a really good ability to help either cycle your upper yards into your hands, put one out, get another search ability, of course, being able to search with your stage upper yard. And of course, as mentioned before with Kalgara's ability, you don't have to wait until your 3rd turn to play out Kalgara with a 6 cost. It's obviously with however many Don you have, so it does have to be a Shandian warrior, so this one for the build especially being the lowest one you can run. So even on your 2nd turn, if you want to take that risk, you can take a life, which I actually have done in past 2. And to help get a bit of a search from a bad mulligan, it is always good just to get a body out on field, something they might even have to try and remove to waste resources as well. So of course, 4 of those WYPERs in there. Now next, as already mentioned, another 4 we're running here. Another WYPER. So this one of course is from OP-06, and he's again a pretty big body, his 2nd strongest character here, as well as the ace coming up soon for 7k. Same thing as well, I have also used the ability, especially if I wasn't starting on for the 2nd turn, so you're on sort of your off curve here, and you've got your 3rd turn for starting first. This is a good card to play out if you can't do your sort of Kalgara and NOLAND combination. So of course with his on play, you can play a stage with a cost of 1. Sorry, you may place a stage. His ability is to only cycle the stages, unlike the WYPER before. So if you have a stage on field that you're using, you can cycle it to the bottom of your deck, look at top 5 cards from the top of your deck, you reveal another upper yard, or even a Shandian warrior type card, add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck any order. So a good little nice little cycling combination there again, so if you want to remove some things. And of course, the really good thing about that one too, is you have the ability to not just search for an upper yard, you can search for a Shandian warrior, so you can try and get another Kalgara, or maybe another different WYPER here, even if it's just sort of for like your counter that you're looking for. So you have good options there too. Now for your next one here, an old classic and favourite returns. As mentioned, my build here runs off Sky Island and Shandian warriors. So of course, your old mate classic, we've got SHURA back here, so of course he's from OP-05. And of course with having a 1k counter, his main ability, and having your first trigger out of these cards that I've got here, you can play him straight up, so really good to get for another search even if you need some counter or to find something else. Of course his on-play ability, many of you guys will be aware. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal 1 Sky Island type character other than SHURA, add it to your hand, place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So of course, if it's pretty early on, and even if you're on your starting 2nd too, you don't have that sort of combination, or you're waiting to use the combination for any other Shandian warriors, you can literally just smack down SHURA first play, start your search up, even if you got maybe a Ohm or a Holly, which you'll be able to see in a little bit here, again as part of the Sky Island. You can search for another piece of the puzzle there, really start to build some board, get some really good characters out in the field. Now the GOAT, Mr. Ohm, 4 of him as well, so we've run 4 of each of these cards so far. Next one here, Ohm yet again a rare from OP-05. Many of you will be familiar with him as well. So of course if you have 2 or less life as well, he gains another 1000 power, so that's really good, especially if you're sort of fighting late game and you've got him on board too. Just a nice little handy piece as well too. And of course you're on play, look 5 cards, top of your deck, reveal a Holly. Nice little Holly search there, and of course if you find one, or even if you have one in your hand, you can play it from your hand and then place obviously the rest of the cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. So classic little Sky Island search there from the Enel build. Now here we go, Holly the compatriot. 4 of these as well that you're going to be running. So we have got of course little vanilla, 3 cost 5k, same sort of thing even if you're on your 3rd turn, can't really do anything else. Nice little low cost to get a 5k body out there as well, or even just for counter. And of course I'd say you mainly want to keep it for your sort of Ohm combination. So then even if you have, an Ohm and Holly in hand, you can even swing for like, you can wait next turn, obviously swing like a K, then use your 4 cost Ohm to play Holly. And of course gets another search in if you have another Ohm in hand, or just, helps you get another body in hand there, free sort of search there. But of course, another thing that's sort of a downside of the deck Mr. Mont Blanc Noland, the main piece of the puzzle to allow you to heal, doesn't have a searchable ability. So of course he is a gyre and botanist, so this being the downside, you can't search him. So if you're doing other searches and you're bottom decking him and you're running through it and you don't have him, you run a real big risk of not being able to heal. Then you've really got to start pushing for game, and that's sort of one of the downsides of the deck here, is definitely the ability to have Mr. Mont Blanc Noland non-searchable. So Bandai's done a number there. Definitely not easy for that too. Now here, your next piece of the puzzle. Of course, an OG classic as well, another rare from OP-05, SARORI, and of course Trigger. So 5 cost, 5k power, sort of your vanilla, with a 2k counter being the best thing here. Definitely use him a lot for that. And of course, we've had him out of Trigger a couple of times, which is really good, especially if you have a lot of duplicates, maybe of like a no counter like the WYPER up here. Really good just to be able to get him out on field. And even late game, if they're really trying to get rid of your bodies, and you just need something else on field to potentially just have that one more swing at the end of the next turn to win the game, something really good to play out from Trigger. Now, your main boy here, of course, we're running 4 more of these as well. PORTGAS D Ace. So, as mentioned here, you know he's from your ST13 deck there. This is obviously the alternate. I'll switch it to the back so you can kind of see everyone's, the generic version of what he should look like if you're looking for his card. So, this is probably the most expensive one in the deck if you're looking to run this build or get this card in general. Probably about, depending on where you are in the world, I think it's about just under 10 USD. So in Australia, maybe about $10 to $15. Hopefully you can get a good deal from someone if they're selling 4, maybe like 4 for 40 bucks, something like that would be pretty good, but it's definitely the most expensive piece of the deck. And of course, being a 5k, 7k swing, and with the ability on play, if he's less than 2 life cards, he gains Rush. So something that can really come in clutch, help you win a game, and of course running 4 of him too. Definitely has helped me win games, and even just to put out bodies out. I do really kind of want to have the ability to see if I can have 2 sort of, on like a turn 10 tendons, add 2 of him onto the field to win and swing if you have enough cards on field, so that's obviously another option there that you do have too. Now, starting off with the events and stages. Here, of course, you probably heard it quite a bit, Upper Yard, yet again, running from OP-05. And your basic, on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Sky Island card, add it to your hand, place the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. So of course, with the other WYPER allowing you to cycle it back into your deck, so if you're going through your deck pretty quickly, you can get it back in hand. And of course, this allows you to search so many of the Sky Island characters. So of course, one crucial thing being, if you don't have a Kalgara in hand, but you have a Mont Blanc Noland and you have this card here, Upper Yard, in your starting hand, again, even if you start on first turn, it's 1 cost, you can get out a quick search, potentially get Kalgara, then you've got your pieces ready for your healing, or even if you want to get a 2k counter, maybe start up a SHURA search, or even if you have Holy or Ohm, you can really start to build some really good combinations there too, so you can really start to learn what you want to have in your first hand. Really good abilities there. Alright, 4 of those. Now, coming into the back end of the deck, your last, where we're going to have 4 cards here. So we've got the Earth Will Not Lose, OP-08, nice little rare here. So of course, it's a counter, so you can give one of your, as long as your leader, of course, it's usable for this deck, because again, we've got Kalgara Shining Warrior, 1 character or leader gains 3k during that battle. Then you can also play 1 Upper Yard from your hand. And of course, one of the best things about this card, Trigger, draw 2, trash 1 from hand. In that tournament where I won actually the game against a Lucci, really good ability there. I had that trigger in my last life that he took from me. That allowed me to cycle out a card that didn't have counter. I got a 2k and a 1k, and it was enough to counter out a massive swing and help me swing for game next turn. So definitely a really good trigger to have. And of course the use of playing another Upper Yard from your hand. So same thing, sorry, that was the best part of it as well during the game. I had used that before to search for an Upper Yard, which gave me another 2k, which I needed as well for that. So really good clutch card, just 1 cost, and of course a really good trigger here too. Now here we go, bit of a different one. We've got Blaze Slice. This is from OP-07. And of course, with its ability, you can use it as a main and a counter. Up to 1 leader character card gains 1k. Then if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, arrest one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. In this build, I run 3. And of course, something about that, which you're probably already thinking, those little pesky Lucci decks, or even just a BY Luffy, Well, aside from your 5-cost Sabo, they're probably going to be running in there. Maybe even a Gecko. Any of those decks that have those 4-cost Rebeccas, that's getting rested. As long as you're being aggressive enough, they don't have much life. They have one, maybe Gecko play just before they get the Rebecca out, they think they're safe. You can immediately have that rested and swing for game, which is exactly what happened in, if not both those games on that day that I won. Sorry, I hit the camera there, guys. Then you can also do it multiple times per game, depending on obviously how many you have. And even from trigger, you can rest an opponent character with a cost of 4 or less. So, worst case scenario, they're swinging, they even have a Rebecca out on field, they might not expect it, that gets rested. So really good utility there. Now here, second last card, just running 2 of these. Thunderbolt. 2 cost, taxing as well, of course. You have to trash 1 card from the top of your life cards, decay an opponent's character with a cost of 5 or less. And with a trigger, straight up just get rid of that 5-cost character or less. So really good utility here again. And of course too, as mentioned earlier, especially for like your BY Luffy, much, you know, depending on where you are in the game, can be quite risky to get rid of your life, depending on how you are. It's very sort of, you know, take it as you will, and it's very situational if you think you should risk it or not. But for me, again, that same night, that also got rid of a Sabo that was a blocker out for one of the Luccis. Only blocker he had, took a life, was able to swing for game again, or if not, get rid of characters in life. So, kind of, you know, double-edged sword, but can be really good too. Now, for the last card here, just 1 0-cost event, so of course, you can trash a card from your hand, get 3k, or from trigger, if you have 0 life cards, it's a free little life regen there. Unfortunately, if you're not a nail, you don't get 2 life back, but 1 little life there. And that actually did happen to me 1 week. I didn't, unfortunately, win that game, but it was sitting in the last bit of my life, so a nice little bit of counter here. So there you are, guys. Nice little deck list here, so if you feel free to pause the video if you want to have a look at the cards here. As mentioned, I'll put down a little deck list down below as to what you can use and sort of follow as a guide to how to get these cards. As mentioned, you can see a lot are from OP-05, OP-08, a couple from here and there, whether it be your OP-07 or EB-01. I don't think I actually own EB-01s from these events, nah. So pretty sort of easy deck to put together. A lot of bulk, I'm sure, depending on, again, on where you are in the world. If you've got a local TCG store, if they have a lot of bulk, even if you're getting bulk from someone else, it should be really easy and cheap. Maybe even some from your friends might have some. Really good way to get a lot of these cards nice and cheap, to put a nice sort of, I'd call it probably the best and most budget-friendly deck that we have out in OP-08 at the moment. So Kalgara is definitely a really big hitter for that one too. Now, I did obviously want to mention, especially on a couple of alternatives that you can have. So I've seen people running, you know, 4 of your Veggies really good from trigger. And then I think it might be Raki as well from OP-06, where she is a 1-cost Shiny Warrior that gives you blocker if you got a Shiny Warrior on field. So that's something you can run as well if you want to be a little bit more defensive. Then of course you can move up sort of the events here too and mix them around if you want to run a couple of the other ones, being even from OP-05. You can run 200 million volts of Maru, another one that does help rest, give you a nice little bit of a power boost for low cost. That's another really good card you can have there. And of course with the events you can really sort of switch things up, whether it be some of the characters or events, mix up the ratios, see how you want to go with that, maybe add in more Thunderbolts, maybe you're the one who should disappear, or even more sort of Sky Island built events. So it's up to you. You can obviously see there's some sort of different builds going around on the internet there, maybe some higher cost characters there too. But really good budget deck. So, you know, if you just want to build basics, start getting into the game, really fun yellow deck. He's got 5 life, so you can kind of really have a lot of fun with it. And I think really good for Rush. They obviously wanted to sort of cover the decks and I guess, you know, some tips that I can give and maybe just how I've gone recently against some different decks. I haven't versed some, like I really do want to verse Pudding, especially from your new sort of meta. The games that I won for the 4-0 store tournament, first game I played was Marco, so 4 obviously being a mix of red and blue can be a bit risky, really good plays. The fact that I was able to get out so many cards early really saved me there because he used Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. So of course it is a 7-cost event, but that gets rid of 2 6-cost characters or less. So that really, there you go, as mentioned before, having that sort of lower cost there is really not good for their removal ability. So it got rid of Kalgara and NOLAND in 1 turn, but thankfully I was still able to, I think, even maybe play another combination of that in that game, or again, I just used my leader ability to push something out on field and it still helped me win the game there. Then of course, as mentioned, My friend was calling me with the Kalgara, the Lucci killer. I have gone in all my store tournaments against the 5 matches I had. Sadly, just this last Wednesday, I lost to my first Lucci, but I'd gone on a nice run of 4 0-ing Luccis. I know some Lucci players are very confident against Kalgara, but if you're really playing it right, you're having a good hand, and of course, they might not be seeing the things they need, you can have really good runs with it. So for that store tournament day, I versed 2 Luccis in a row. So after that Marco game from OP-08, 2 Luccis in a row, felt I went really good against them, and that helped me win the game there. Now, so for the last game of that day, I versed a REIJU, and of course they also have a good bit of rush ability, whether it being from the new Porsches added in, even Ichiji pushing it into the deck. Really good ability to rush and sort of attack you quite quickly too. Thankfully, he wasn't seeing too many big Ichijis. I only had to deal with, I think, 1 during the day, and that's what clutched off the day. So I had a Marco, 2 Luccis, and a REIJU for that one there. Now, again, as mentioned, I just lost to a Lucci recently. So he had like a 3-cost Brook out early. He was playing a lot of cards. He had a Lucci in that was really sort of negging my cards. So as soon as I tried to play out, you know, your Kalgara and Noland only had 1 combo chance that game for it, really got rid of them, and he was really focusing on sort of stripping my board and attacking my characters too. So that was definitely a tough game, and that's what you can have against Lucci. But of course, you can choose to have things like Bedge in the deck, maybe some blockers out there too. Have some really smaller cost characters to, you know, really try and firm up your board there as well. So Lucci's definitely, I say, it's a fairly even matchup, if not favoured a bit more to Kalgara, even though I had one of our friends from the tournament saying he's never lost to a Kalgara yet. So again, might depend on the kind of Kalgara build that you run to and how the game sort of turns out, but I think it's fairly favoured. On the other spectrum of that, especially being your BY Luffy, your black yellow Luffy, that is really struggling and tough when you get towards your late game. So for late game, they're going to be dropping geckos and big bodies out. I think you have to go quite aggressive into them, and obviously you don't really want to get them to 0. If you can maybe leave them on 1 life and have a lot of bodies out, they're going to really struggle next turn. They're going to really want to be forced to take their life either from a flampe, add 2 back for some swings in, but then of course if they're buffing up their Luffy, or of course if they do put 2 life there, you got a good chance if you got good bodies on board. But if they buff their Luffy to 9k, that's really hard. Again, here you've got, you know, Kalgara, even the Noland out, even if you have your other wipers, you're still investing quite a bit of Don, even a PORTGAS DA, so if you want to play out a rush from him, to actually get over that 9k leader is just, it absolutely is taxing. So you really want to try and get that from middle, or latest middle game, you want to try and win that, or you've got very low chances to win that towards the end of the game, especially sort of around the green decks like your Bonnies too. If you're playing that long game against a Bonnie, they're really favoured on, of course, late game too, because same thing with Kalgara, you want to get your cards out, your bodies out, get your big costing characters and do some heavy damage there as well. Now, of course, I've only versed, I think it was a Bello Betty that I versed in one of the other store tournaments the other day. It was very fun, was happy to actually win that game too. That's very difficult to verse against your rush. Same thing, try and get your bodies out, really attack the characters, and then just, you know, absolutely go for life there too. So as mentioned, there's a couple of decks that I haven't versed from the latest meta, whether it be Pudding, not too many like geckos running around at the moment there. Other Kalgaras, I haven't actually versed a mirror matchup just yet. Now, one of our other friends, hopefully he's watching, he got me into playing a Foxy deck, which really counters the Kalgara with his ability and the cards it can run. I had no idea about this, so if you're ever versing a Foxy with Kalgara, just be careful, be really careful if you're not aware of the Foxy ability. So he can freeze a character and leader on that same turn if you have 3 or more Foxy Pirate characters on field. So, you know, first turn, maybe even second, they're really trying to get their bodies out. You know that if they have 1 or 2 on field, they're potentially going to get another one out very quickly, and then leader abilities locking you in. So of course with Kalgara's main ability here, being able to attack, and you have to use his leader ability when attacking, that's probably one of the biggest detriments to it, is that he's not going to let you restand that, and he's going to be stuck in a lock. So bit of advice there, especially if you are versing a Foxy in a serious tournament, don't swing in with Kalgara until you have enough bodies on board. Don't even swing really in general. Try and sort of weather the blows that you're going to be taking from your life. And then once you do, try and get out your big body, your Nolan to heal, and just absolutely start smoking the big bodies, because they're going to be freezing there. That was really not fun to play. A really good bit of experience there as well too. well, that wraps up the video, everyone. I hope you really enjoyed my sort of breakdowns, how I went in the day to go first place. Of course, there are many combinations you can change things out of in this deck. I think the Sky Island and Shining Warrior engine is so much fun. Had a lot of fun on the day. I have been running Kalgara. I do want to give him a bit more of a go. And of course, if you have liked this video, or if you are new, please do hit that like and subscribe. As I'm sure everyone is aware here in the recent subscribers, thanks for growing the hourly army. We're pushing strong to 1,000 subscribers, so we're going absolutely amazingly recently. I do thank everyone so much for the support and of course the interactions, and of course, especially for this video, please do pop a comment down below. How have you gone against Kalgara? Maybe you're running Kalgara, or even if you got tips for someone else in the comments that they might be looking to do certain things or how to run certain things as well, feel free to drop it in the community. It's always great. I think playing this card game is so awesome and so much fun, especially with the friends that we have every day, or every week I should say. We go to a couple of weeks, so it's so much fun. Everyone's got a great community vibe against it, so the more people that get into it, the better. Again, drop down a comment below if anyone's got any questions. I thank you all so much for watching the videos. Please do again hit that like and subscribe to grow the video strong. Hope you enjoyed the new sort of format, giving a deck breakdown list, I should say. And if you do want me to do so in the future, let me know. I can try and build different decks, or maybe even advice on certain decks as well. So I hope you've all enjoyed that. And of course, we've got plenty of content on the way. We'll see you in the next one.